Hello, everybody. This is Alexandra Epple, and
Oh, Suzanne Lynch.
there
I'm
she
Suzanne
is.
Lynch.
And today we're going to talk
Mhm.
about self-love and how to up your self-love.
Believe it or not, but you come first.
So what we are noticing in our practices as yoga health coaches and yoga teachers, that the level of self-love is just at an all-time low for so many people, that really would be awesome for everyone to come into our practice and say, hey, we love ourselves at a level of 10. But really what's happening is that most people come in and they say, well, I don't know, it's a 2 or a 3 or a 4 or 5. And it's just, so we want to talk about like, oof, how can we up that level of self-love so that we are really embracing ourselves and really appreciate ourselves. What's your view on that, Suzanne, on what's
And
happening right now?
I think you're right. And what I see is when, maybe I see it particularly, probably with men too, but with also with more with women when they start taking care of themselves, loving themselves, feelings of guilt come up. Like I feel so guilty for putting myself first, or for actually taking time to meditate, or I see it over and over again, in yoga classes, in yoga teacher trainings. And I think in particular your audience is most women here. Yes, is that true?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, that's
Yeah.
true.
So it's like women are taking care of everybody else but themselves. And I talk a lot about, to my clients, I say, I want you to model self-care to other people. Can you model self-care and self-love? Um, and then, that sounds good, but then actually doing it, a lot comes up. And, I think we were talking a little bit earlier about how, culturally, this culture is, it's a masculine culture, and women have more cyclical needs. Like we are really much more aware of the seasons of our lives. We may be taking time out to raise children from the workplace, or we may be needing to rest more through menopause, or we might be, needing time off to take care of elders. I mean, the fact is that that falls mostly on women in this culture still. Um, and to put yourself first and love yourself and make sure your needs are met first, it's a big deal.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
and the
oh,
question
go ahead.
the question I'm really curious about is like, what does daily self-love look like in daily life? Because it's really through the way we feed ourselves, through the way we move, through the way we act, through the way we dress ourselves, through the way we interact. It's really an act of self-love. Every single thing we or say or do is really an act of self-love.
You could also just crown yourself the self-loving queen. I bow to you, my queen.
Right. I mean, I don't know, the way it has worked for me. We both teach these habits that, help you generate energy and be healthy, and basically take care of your body, um, so that you can go about your day. These habits have caused me to examine my actions. Okay, what are the things I'm doing automatically without thinking about throughout my day? And I think the hard part for me was seeing just how corrosive some of my actions were. Like, why am I eating this? Like this thing, it tastes too processed, or I don't really want it, but why am I doing it? Or why am why am I working on this screen when my eyes are killing me?
That
You
is
know?
one for me. That is like, wow, why am I watching this movie at the end of the day when really I know I've already spent enough time on a computer? That's a big one for me too. That's
Right.
not an act of self-love, you know, that's a act of, I don't know, hiding
Right.
or something.
Right. Or but just starting to look at that, you know, it's a painful place to start seeing. It's like, I think I mentioned to you this, it's like when you first close your eyes to meditate, you are horrified by how corrosive your thoughts are. It's like, oh my God, I can't even sit here. But when we begin to look at actions, and it's mostly just for me, you know, in meditating, it was really just letting those thoughts go, just watching them pass. And then like this amazing amount of self-love, eventually it's like it comes out of a well within, I would say. And in these habits throughout the day, it's like for me catching myself acting in a not so loving way, and then how could I replace that with a small more loving action, you
Yeah,
know,
and I
like
think part of it for me is also the attitude we bring to everything we do, because we may be doing things that are self-caring. So maybe we take a bath or maybe we do go for a walk, but we don't quote unquote see it as an act of self-love. And I had this client who actually kind of was working on that a lot. And so what I had her do is have a vase or some kind of vessel on an altar or some kind of special place in her house. And every evening she wrote on small pieces of paper the things she did for self-love, and she put it in the vessel. And, you know, just simply having that tiny habit or that tiny action where she was like, oh, I went for lunch actually, and I took 30 minutes for lunch. That was an act of self-love. I actually took time away from the office. Oh, that's an act of self-love. I can put that in there. Oh, I brushed my hair today and I made my look beautiful. Oh, that was an act of self-love. And so it's like really making that conscious also, I think, is really important.
You could also simply put a hot water bottle on your belly and give yourself a huge self hug and snuggle up with yourself.
right, recognizing it and getting conscious, yeah, like what is, it's like the discernment of what is self-love, you know, how does that look in my life. I love that idea of that jar, and you know, and that each person, you know, is worthy of love, I think, is the underlying underlying theme too
That
there.
is huge, right? We gotta feel like we're enough. But then the thing comes out also is like we have to fake it until we make it. Because maybe you don't love yourself right now. And maybe I didn't love myself 20 years ago, 15 years ago. I had to
Right,
fake it until I made it. Really.
right, and to, I don't know, and to just be holding that tension, I guess, of where, you know, where I'd like to be, and then I think the act of caring for yourself, um, will bring up the stuff that needs to leave. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. Making
But
more
I
room
love,
also through the act of self-love. It's like a house cleaning. And so if there's anything
yeah,
preventing us from actually feeling that love, we've taken the action, which is kind of like house cleaning. And then all of a sudden we're like,
yeah,
oh, after a while, we're like, oh, I feel it now.
right, and like the love can then land.
Hmm.
It can land, and you can receive it and take it in,
I
and
love that.
that's
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
that's really
So I'm really curious. Let's what are you doing to increase your level of self-love in your life? Like, what are the one, two, three tiny things that really make a big difference for you?
you know, I think for me personally, what has been so key and so important is my meditation practice. Like that is the thing that cleans house, that allows, you know, love to land. And it may be, you know, just my particular circumstance, and my past, and I have such maybe an active mind, that's been super essential. And then I think also for me personally, it's I have to get outside and move and get fresh air. That's a way that um, you know it makes my body feel better. It gives me prana and life force, and it helps me switch out to a more spacious form, like, of my mind. Like, if my mind is contracted and I don't know, just too focused on something, like, I won't be open to what is available, what love is coming my way, right?
Meditation and nature for you. Yeah,
Yeah.
those are big for me too. But I think for me, the biggest one is taking one full day off a week. That is a real act of self-love, because I'm such an achiever and I very easily could just keep running throughout my week. And if I don't take that day off, my whole week is gonna be like, oh God, I have to do X, I have to do Y, and then I'm just like so drained, and that's so not self-loving, is it? That would be one. And then I think over the years, my second one would be self-massage. That really cultivates putting oil on the body is like putting love on the body. And I think that helped me a lot over the years to create a really good self-body image and really being okay with the way my body looked and felt and presented itself.
Yes, yes. And um what was your first one again? It was oil and
Taking a day off.
on the day off, right? And I was thinking when I heard that it's like honoring the pulsation of activity and rest.
Mhm.
And it's like that rest makes everything else possible, all the activity possible. And that's, it's in our culture, it's just like work, 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 work. And so it's like such a oh my God, it's such a game changer to take that time
Yeah.
to actually take care of yourself. Do you do certain things on your day off, or do you just have a really open day, or?
Have an absolutely open day with nothing planned. And then if I feel like it, I go on a long hike. Or if I feel like it, I go on an excursion to some hot springs. And if I feel like it, I just lay about in the house and read a book. But it's that day where I wake up and I don't have any appointments. I have nothing that I have to do. But if I feel like doing them, then I'll do them. That's my feeling day instead of my action day.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
And that's simple. It doesn't really cost any money.
Yeah, right?
It's available to all of us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Cool. So, hey, I think we could talk about the self-love piece so long. I mean, we could have hours and hours of conversations on this, but let's call it good for today. And you can get in touch with Suzanne via her website, which is
Right now I'm using a website called SaratogaSpringsYoga.com. It is soon to be Suzanne Lynch Wellness, and I have a public Facebook page, business Facebook page, Suzanne Lynch Wellness.
great. And you can get in touch with me via alexandraepple.com. All right, you guys, thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.